Hi, Hibiki. Hi, Susan. Hello, Duncan. Aw, hi, Sin. Okay, you guys. Hi, Ivana. Let's get started in a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you today. Getting the flesh out from underneath your bum. And we'll just inhale and sweep the arms up to the sky. We'll exhale and take our prayer back to our heart. Inhaling, sweep it up. And exhale, hands to the heart. And one more time from the heart, spreading wide. And exhaling, the prayer drops into your heart. So you can stay here for your centering with the hands at the heart if that feels good and natural for you. Otherwise, you can take the palms to face down on your lap. The brightness on the in-breath, lifting the heart and the ribs. The settling of the exhale breath softens the shoulders and settles the brain activity as well. Tracing the path of the breath from the low belly, high and broad across the collarbones. And letting the exhale breath descend down the spine like an elevator, all the way down into the low pit of your belly. For just two more of your centering breaths. From here, go ahead and sliver the eyelids open. And we'll start off with a figure 4 today, taking your right ankle over the left knee, flexing the foot a lot. And if you'd like a deeper stretch, the bum comes closer towards the front heel and less intensity, a little more space between the heel and the bum. As always, we want to lean back to bent elbows and puff the heart up towards the sky. And a level chin draws back behind you. Keep pressing that shin bone away from you and keep flexing the foot back towards the knee. We're here for just a couple more breaths. Inviting a little softening, a little ease into that outer left hip for just one more. And then from here, you're going to lengthen the left heel onto the ground and take the sole of the right foot down onto the ground. Modified Marichyasana, getting the flesh out from underneath the bum. Inhaling, lifting your left arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, twist over to the right, hugging the front knee. If you really want to, you can hook the elbow over the knee, but it's nice to just start off nice and soft. Use your in-breath to lift the spine taller. And use your out-breath to deepen the twist any amount further. Low back, mid-back, even the cervical spine might be able to twist a little bit more at the space of the neck for just one more breath. And inhaling, coming back to center, taking the sole of the right foot onto the inner left thigh for a Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge forward over the leg. Okay to find a tiny bend in that front knee, especially if you have a lot of tension in the low back or the hamstring. See what you can do here to soften the shoulders away from your toes and to lengthen the sternum forward. For one more breath. Good. Inhale as you rise up and release the arms. And from here, you're just gonna take the fingertips down onto the ground, lift your butt and scooch your left heel forward so that the legs open a little bit more. So we're gonna prepare for a side bend from here. Taking your left palm to face up at the inside of the left leg and hinging over to the left any amount. So it might feel nice to just take your right hand, palm flat onto the thigh and hinge into that side bend. Some of you might feel cozy with the upper arm reaching across. But in all cases, notice that your right shoulder kind of wants to dip forward towards the ground and see what you can do to roll the top shoulder open. Feel the upper palate, that cathedral ceiling and the roof of your mouth, just drawing gently back in space. For one more breath, breathing into the right side body. And inhale, rising up. Exhale, taking the right hand down just a little bit back behind you. You're going to press the hand down and lift the heart up. You can stay here, or if you want to lift the hips away from the ground and send your left toenails down towards the ground, open the heart up towards the sky. Reaching maybe your top arm alongside the ear for one more breath. Good, and then exhale to float it down. And taking the heels in front of you, we're just gonna place the hands onto either side of the hips and inhale to lift the heart. And as you exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest. And you can stay with that kind of like a seated cat and cow, inhaling to open the heart. And exhale to slowly take it down, or you can lift into a reverse bridge, inhaling, or a reverse table, and exhale to float it down. We'll do 3 more of your own, whatever you choose, just moving fluidly with your breath. Last one here. And taking the bum down onto the ground and your left ankle over the right knee. Work to flex the toes so you see 90 degrees there at the heel. And find the appropriate bum to heel distance for you. You can lean back to bent elbows and puff your heart to the sky. So a little bit of work remains in the front shin bone as it presses away from your face. And a little bit of ease, we remind ourselves, finds us in the angle of the jaw and the tops of the shoulders for 2. Enough sensation that you want to breathe a deeper breath into it. Press that knee away from you and flex the toes. 1 more breath. And then from here, you're going to lengthen your right heel forward onto the ground. Take the sole of the left foot onto the earth and then find a taller seat. Okay, to get the flesh out from underneath your bum. Tent your left fingertips behind you and inhale, sweep your right arm up to the sky. And exhale, twist to the left, hugging the front knee or hooking the elbow over the knee. Can you sense the vertical alignment of center of heart right over the center of your pelvis? And that dome-like ceiling and the soft upper palate lining up right over the center of your heart. And using an exhale breath to twist the entire spinal column, low back, thoracic spine, and cervical spine to the left. For 1 more easy breath. And inhale, come on back to center, taking the sole of the left foot onto the inner right thigh. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge forward over the front foot. So you want to see that your right toes point straight up towards the sky, not out to the side. So many of us will just need to put a little bit more weight underneath the inner edge of your right heel so that the toes point straight up to the sky. Tiny bend in that knee is a-okay. Let the heart move forward faster than the shoulders. feel for that slow motion pulse of breath through you. One more. Good. And inhale as you rise up. Exhale, release the hands to the sides. Take the fingertips down, lift your butt up, and scooch that right heel away from you until there's a wider angle between your thighs. Your right palm's going to face up to the inside of the leg, and the left hand with the fingertips pointing out to the left can just root down through the left thigh as you hinge over to the right. And you can stay here or top arm alongside the ear. Letting the right ear topple down towards the earth and letting the left shoulder sort of peel open towards the sky for just one more. Good. Inhale as you rise up. Taking your left hand just beside your left hip. And you can stay here as you just lift the heart and lift the right fingertips up to the sky. Or you can press that hand down a lot, lift the hips, and open the heart towards the sky for 2. And 1. Good. And then we're going to look down towards the ground, place the hands, and walk them towards the top of your mat, coming into your all fours position. Hands and knees. Let's cruise through a couple of cat and cow stretches. Inhale as you open the heart and look up. Exhale, ripple from the tailbone, one bone at a time, all the way up to the top of the head. So more practiced students, most of you have done this 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 times. Begin to refine, inhaling from your tailbone, one little bone at a time until eventually the cervical spine and crown lift towards the sky. It's a slow process guided by your own breath. And then on your next in-breath, just come into a flat back. And we'll come into a knee down plank from here. Knee down plank. So inhaling here. Exhale and lower the body all the way down to the ground. Tent your fingertips off to the sides of your sticky mat and lengthen your toes well back in space. Inhale, curl the heart forward and up. Exhale, release it forward and down. Again, straight through the center. Inhale, float the heart forward and up. And exhale, take it down. Lead with your right shoulder, peel it up, look back behind you. And exhale, lower it down. We'll twist to the left. Inhale, peel it up, look back behind you. Exhale and float it down. Keep your tailbone pointing back as we inhale one more time. And exhale, float the torso down towards the ground. Rising up into an all fours position. And from here, either puppy dog, or if you prefer, downward facing dog. If you're in the dog pose, full dog pose, then go ahead and bend your knees just a little bit. And then everyone recommit to broadening through the fingertips and feeling that the rim of the palm, the center of the palm, lifts away from the ground. As the center of the palm lifts away from the ground, the forearms, underside of the forearms lift away from the ground, and the armpits subtly lift away from the ground as well. If you're not feeling that, then don't worry about it. Stretch from your heart center up and back through the pubic bone for one more breath. And then everybody meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back behind you. And exhale, place that heel at the top of the mat. So we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 2. Rise up facing the long edge of your sticky mat. It's like actually warm and sunny today. How about that? Open the arms out to the sides and sink into the front knee. Let's hinge forward, propping your right forearm onto the thigh, left arm up to the sky like a cactus shape. From here, just look down and see that your front heel is not buckling in towards the midline, that you're not collapsing into the inner heel. You're actually dragging the inner heel back. If that makes any sense. Tuck your right butt underneath you and then roll your left heart open to the sky. There's a firming in the core, so the pubis is lifting in and up towards the low belly, and the low ribs are tucking down and in towards the flesh of the upper abdomen for one more breath. And then reverse triangle. Inhale, sweep it up and back. And as we exhale, we're going to cartwheel it down into a twisting lunge. So the hands are going to come down onto either side of the front foot. The back heel is going to spin up towards the sky. And you can drop the back knee down from here, or you can keep it lifted as you like. Inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the sky. And then begin to work here, you guys, on wrapping your outer right hip down towards the earth. Feel that anchoring. And then lift the inner left thigh towards the sky. Inner left heel bone towards the sky. For 2. And 1. Good. Placing the hands down onto either side of that front foot. Inhale, stepping it back into a plank or a knee down plank. And from here, you can move straight back into puppy dog or downward dog or a vinyasa. Okay. Yogi's choice. Just let the breath be fluid, even let the breath kind of be the driver, the front seat, and let the body just follow the cue of your own breath. You have 2 breaths, heart melting down, lining up your ears right between your upper arms. Puppies will come to meet the full-grown dogs. And in through the nose, everyone. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, please glide your left heel up and back behind you. Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, place that heel right between your thumbs. Spin the back heel down. Cartwheeling the arms up, facing the long edge of your sticky mat. So when we face the long edge of the sticky mat, front heel bisects back arch. Okay, it's like they're sharing the midline of the pose. And then you might notice that you kind of hinge forward a little bit, but if you look down, can you place the shoulders right over the hips? Gazing softly over the left fingertips, just a breath. See that your back toe is turned in slightly. And then hinge over to the left, propping the forearm onto the thigh, right arm up to the sky, bending into the top elbow. So have a peek at your base and see, is your left heel just collapsing, left heel and left knee collapsing in towards the big toe edge? And see if you can just gently draw the inner left heel back. Lining up the knee right over the heel, tucking your left butt underneath you, keeping some firming of the core, low ribs drawing down and in, pubic bone lifting in and up. Begin to open the right side of your heart up towards the sky. Big breath into the right side body. You got this for one more breath. Good, and inhale to reverse triangle. Sweep it all the way up and back, straighten through the front leg. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down onto either side of the front foot. Twisting lunge. So it's okay here to drop the back knee down towards the ground or to keep it lifted. Okay. We're going to twist over to the left, finding a comfy home for your left fingertips, maybe towards the sky, maybe they stay down on the knee. And then notice that it's really easy, you guys, to wing your left butt like out and up towards the sky. So you can do that for a moment for a how not to. And then as Sarah Clark says, and now I say, stop doing that. Spin your outer left hip down towards the ground. Lift your inner right thigh up towards the sky. And then peel the left side of your heart open for 2. Long line of energy from your tailbone out through the top of the head. One more breath. Good. And then go ahead and release it down. Dropping the back knee, pigeon pose. Heel toe your front foot over to the right side of the mat until the outer shin comes down onto the ground. So if as you square the hips forward in space, your left butt lifts off of the ground, slide something underneath it. A towel or a block or a blanket. Lift and open the heart. And exhale, hinging forward. Any amount. Letting a deeper breath facilitate a softening into what you feel, what sensations this pose is offering you. If you'd like to play with a thread the needle variation here, it could be appropriate for some of us, but not for all of us. But if you want to play, flip the right palm towards the sky, thread it underneath your left armpit out to the left, and then I like to make a fist with the right hand to rest the left side of my head on it. Yeah, just like that. And you can stay here, or you can come back to the original variation. Take 3 deep, deep breaths here. And slowly, slowly unravel that, placing the palms, rising up. Take a single breath and just feel what you feel. And then you're going to take it back into an all fours position. Right knee towards the sky, and you're going to draw big, slow circles. You could do this from downward facing dog as well. And then the opposite direction, or if you're full of fire today and you're in dog pose, you could flip your dog into wild thing. Come back to meet us in a symmetric pose, all fours or dog pose, and pigeon pose on the left side. Inhale, glide the left heel back. Exhale, place the knee right behind your left wrist and squiggle the foot across, outer shin bone to the top of the mat. So as you reach your right toes, right knee back in space, notice that the pelvis kind of wants to tip over to the left side. But if as you square the pelvis forward, you feel your right butt lifted in the air, go ahead and slide a something underneath it. Cushion, block, blanket, okay? For a more intense stretch, you'll take the shin bone more towards parallel at the top of the mat. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, coming forward just halfway and pausing there, assessing. It's interesting to me to notice that when I come into this pose, like the scalenes, these muscles in like the sides and the front of the neck start to tighten up as though they could help, but they can't. Okay, so just consciously tell those guys to relax. And just observe as the weight of the body starts to settle into the shape of this pose. As though there were a mold of your body in the shape of this pose, and your job now would just be to soften into that mold. And you can stay here, or you could tent the right fingertips in front of you, flip your left palm to the sky, and thread the needle underneath the right armpit. And then taking your right fist and resting the left side of your head on it. If you do that, you'll notice again that with the transition, the shoulders want to hunch towards the ear, especially that right shoulder. So just unhunch, let go. and work to bring a deeper breath into the spaces where you feel the stretch, as though the breath could extend beyond the lungs and the diaphragm, through the low belly, all the way into your hip socket. And slowly, consciously unravel. So notice everything that you feel as you come out of it, rising up. Taking your time to step back into that all fours or dog pose with your right knee towards the sky and drawing circles in the air with that kneecap. Begin slow, begin slow. The opposite direction. Good. And coming back into your all fours position, hands and knees. From here, you're going to tuck the toes underneath you and come into a squat. You're going to open the knees out to the sides and just see if you can find upright. Maybe taking one hand to the heart, maybe the other hand to the heart. We're going to move towards Baddha Konasana. So if you'd like to just have a seat and take the soles of the feet together, knees apart, that's fine too. If you want to try a little bit more of a challenge, you could take the fingertips up towards the sky, maybe interlocking at the thumbs and drawing the pinky fingers apart, feeling the upper arm bones draw closer towards each other. Notice if the low ribs are poking forward, ask them not to do that. And then if you're still very cozy here, then you could close the eyes for 3 breaths. And you'll risk falling. And this is a safe place to do that. One more. Good. Hands coming to the heart. Go ahead and take your butt down onto the ground. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Baddha Konasana. Taking the upper arm bones in front of the shin bones, if that's available to you. And bowing in. Again, ask the muscles between the base of the skull and the tops of the shoulders, from the angle of the jaw to the collarbones, ask them to soften and relax. There's nothing they can do here to help. One breath more. And inhale as you rise up. So level 1 peeps, you can lie down on your back. When you're ready, you could extend the arms and legs for Shavasana. You can close the app and set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes for your Shavasana. Those of us moving towards level 2, we're going to open the legs into Upavishta, just a straddle, seated straddle, and then your toes again are going to point straight up towards the sky. And then you're going to hinge forward any amount. And we're just going to have a tiny little ripple here. So as you inhale, wherever you are, lift and lengthen the heart forward. And as you exhale, release down. Inhale, lift and lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, release down. It's pretty subtle, but it's movement. It's actual movement. Inhaling, ripple. Exhale and bow. And you do that 3 more times, just a little bit slower with your own breath. Once more. Good. And inhale as you rise up. We're going to come up into a Prasarita Padottanasana. So that's a wide-legged forward fold. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. And from here, let's come into a flat back, taking the right hand down right underneath the nose and the left hand onto the small of the back. And see if you can keep your right butt lifting as you walk your right hand over towards your left toes. So maybe they'll touch, maybe they'll grab on to the outer shin or ankle or foot, but then re-lift your right butt and begin to bend your right elbow, twisting your torso towards the left. Like your navel could start to point towards your center of your left thigh. Top arm could come up towards the sky if you like for 2. Good. Come on back to center, inhaling. And opposite side, right hand comes onto the hip. So you feel the hips are nice and level. You're going to twist your torso over to the right. Taking your left hand onto the outer right shin or ankle or foot. So you feel your left hip wanting to dip, and then don't let that happen. Lift to the left hip. Maybe a tiny little micro bend in your left elbow as you begin to twist your torso over to the right. Maybe the right fingertips pop up towards the sky. Feel what you feel and breathe into that for 2. Good. And come on back to center, inhaling into your flat back. Exhaling, hands either coming onto the sides of the hips or fingertips straight forward in space. Lifting the kneecaps. Hugging the 2 feet towards each other so that you feel the inseams of the legs actually working. And feeling the back of the skull lift gently towards the sky. You're just using some muscle energy here and cultivating a deeper breath for 1 more. Upper arms right alongside the ears. Good. And inhale as you rise up. Exhaling, hands onto the hips and Skandasana pulse from here. So you're going to turn the toes out and inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to sink into the left knee and draw the butt down towards the ground. The right toes are going to point up towards the sky. See if you can nestle a little bit more of the upper arm to the inner knee. Good. And then as we inhale, we're going to stay low through center. And as we exhale, we're going to sink into the right knee, popping your left toes up towards the sky. Nestling upper arm to the inner knee, lifting up through the top of your head if you can. Embracing some discomfort for sure. And then inhaling, rolling through center. Exhale, sink into the left. Inhaling center. Exhaling right. 1 more time each side. Inhaling slow, 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 and sink. And again, inhaling slow, 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 and exhale, sink the bum down. Good. From here, we're going to come back into center and into a goddess stance. So sinking nice and low, taking the hands onto the inner knees. Inhale here. And as you exhale, dip the right shoulder forward and twist to the left. Inhaling back to center. Maybe you lift and spread the toes here. And exhale, twist it to the right. Dip the left shoulder forward. This should feel pretty awesome. Inhaling back to center. And 1 more time each side. Exhale and twist. Inhaling center. And exhale as you twist. Inhaling center. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down onto either side of your left foot. Inhale, stepping back into your plank pose. Exhale, lowering down just halfway. Inhale, lifting the heart. And exhaling into your downward facing dog. Okay, so inhale and come forward into a plank. We're going to inhale and lift the left heel. And exhale, kick it underneath your right armpit out to the right, spin onto the right heel, and lift your right heel up. Exhale, hand to the ground. Inhale, back into your plank. Next, in breath, to lift your right heel. Exhale, spin your left heel down, kick it through, and lift the fingertips up. Inhale, all the way back to your plank. Exhale, swivel to the right, lift right hand, kick it through. Inhale, all the way back to your plank. Exhale, kick it through. Inhale, back to your plank. Exhale, kicking through. Inhaling plank. Exhale and kick it through. Let's do one more time each side. Inhaling plank. Exhale, kick through. Inhaling plank. And exhale, kicking through. Good. Inhaling here. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. That should feel like a really nice little rest in through the nose. And then open mouth exhale. Good. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back behind you. Exhale, place the heel right between the thumbs. Again, Virabhadrasana 2. You're going to rise up, taking the fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to hinge into that side angle, but the arms are going to stay alongside the ears like you're holding a beach ball over your head. Swivel your right ribs forward as you draw the right knee back to the pinky toe edge for 2. Isn't this neat for one more breath? Good. Top hand onto the top hip and Ardha Chandrasana from here. So you're going to take the right hand a good 8 or 9 inches in front of your right pinky toe and lift your back heel towards the sky. So those toes, left toes, point straight towards the long edge of your mat. Top arm maybe up to the sky. And from here, we're just going to draw little baby circles. Little baby circles with your left heel. Just slow and tiny, like 3-inch circles. No bigger. And then you're going to draw the circles in the opposite direction. Good. And then back into your Ardha Chandra. And then from here, you're going to bend into the right knee and cross your left ankle behind your right heel. Left ankle behind your right heel. So the pinky toe edges are touching. You're just going to walk your hands over to about 10 o'clock off to the side of your yoga mat. Lengthen the heart out to 10 o'clock. And exhale as you bow. For 2. Soft shoulders. Okay, so from here, you can just play with coming onto the tippy toes and bending the knees open to the sides. And you can play with nestling the knees towards the upper arms and see if you can keep the cross of the ankles as you line up the navel right over the center point of the thumbs. Hug the belly in and up and lift the ankles off of the ground. If you have that, you can play with hopping back to Chaturanga. We're all going to meet in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. In through the nose, and then open mouth exhale. Inhale, please slide your left heel up and back behind you. And as you exhale, place the heel right between the thumbs. Spin the back heel down and cartwheel the arms up, facing the long edge. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, fingertips up to the sky. Hold your beach ball. And exhale, hinge to the left. So the things that can go wonky here are front knee buckling in. Draw the knee back towards the pinky toe edge of the front foot. Top shoulder pitching forward. See if you can line your right shoulder up over the left one. And see if you can just cultivate some sense of calm along the path of your breath as you maintain something that requires a little bit of strength and discipline. One more. Okay, releasing, taking the top hand down to the hip and your left hand down. about 8 inches in front of your left pinky toe, and begin to glide the back heel off of the ground. So you might just be lifting and lowering that back leg as gracefully as you can, aka just falling out of the pose. And some of us take top finger up towards the sky, top fingertips. Some of us drawing little baby 3-inch circles with the back heel. The circles are really tiny. Where can you let go of unnecessary effort? And opposite direction. Check out the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders. Usual suspects. We're here for one more breath. Those toes are still flaring wide on the right foot. Good. And then you're going to look down towards the ground, soften into the left knee, and wrap the right ankle behind the left heel. Okay? So pinky toe edges of the feet are touching. Right ankle behind the left heel. Walk then your fingertips over to about 2 o'clock off to the side of your yoga mat. Lengthen the heart out to 2 o'clock as well. And keeping the front body long, red channel stays nice and long. As you bow, do 20, crown of the head. Hai Hui, 100 convergences towards the ground. Feel the flesh of your cheeks softening to gravity for one breath more. Good. And then come on back to center. Come onto your tippy toes and open the knees out to the sides. So even just holding this position can be quite a good challenge. If you'd like to take the hands down onto the ground, thumbs as wide as your outer shoulders, and bend into the elbows, nestling the knees into the upper arms. You can, and if this is something that you've done before, then you can play with taking the very crown of your head all the way down to the ground. Lift the shoulder blades away from the earth, and a couple of you might come up into Shirshasana headstand. Shoulder blades lifting, and wherever you are, making your way back into Chaturanga, safely and gracefully. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. In through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Okay, let's just look forward through the hands and hop the feet all the way forward. However you want to get there is fine. Lie down on your back. Take the heels to the sky, palms face down. Inhale here. Exhale and float the heels down. Double leg raises, just 3. Inhaling up. Exhale and lower. Inhaling up. Exhale and lower. Good. And inhaling up. Exhale, bend the knees. Place the heels as wide as your hips. And on an in-breath, float the hips up towards the sky. Interlacing hands beneath you. You know what to do. Snuggle the arm bones closer together, upper arm bones closer together. Press the back of the skull way down into the ground. And enjoy a breath across that wide open space of your heart for 2. 1. Float your hips nice and slow down to the ground. Take a single breath to settle the body heavy into your yoga mat. Open the arms out into a T position, palms facing down. And exhale, drop both knees over to the right. Gaze to your left. And inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, swivel knees to the left. Gaze to the right. Inhaling, coming back to center. And exhaling, extending the legs, heels wider than your hips, toes flopping open to the sides. Palms facing up in a gesture of receiving for corpse pose. Just receiving the benefits of your practice. a deeper breath. Relaxing the jaw and the tongue. Letting go of control of the breath. And letting the brain muscle relax as well. The divine in me honors and salutes the divine in you and in all things. Namaste.